Okay, it's 1, and I'm going to go ahead and start the meeting because I want to be respectful of everyone's time. So welcome everybody to our Pfizer meeting. April 12th, we're having it in person, so I'm glad to see everybody in person. We have we're going to start with our first item, consent items. Councilmember Gardner, we don't have any consent items. Do you approve the minutes from 3/29?
Yep.
Okay, you approve the minutes. Federal legislative update. Welcome, Lori. Lori?
Okay, hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't have access to my microphone. Oh, now I do. Okay, now I can put myself on camera too. Okay, sorry about that. She's given access. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Congress came back this week after a 2-week recess for Easter. They are going to begin on the Senate side. They're going to begin working on the impeachment process for Department of Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas. They also are going to begin working on the appropriations process. Last week, the House Steering Committee appointed a new chair for House Appropriations Committee. His name is Tom Cole. He is a great Republican from Oklahoma. He led the charge for Republicans to bring back earmarks. Very passionate about transportation and housing. He's the chair of the subcommittee, well respected by all. So I'm really excited to have him join the team and knowing that earmarks are going to continue. So that's great news as well. And then hopefully we'll start seeing some increases for our housing programs and transportation programs that we care about so much. Looking forward to seeing y'all next week, seeing you, City Council Member Lawson next week. I've set up some meetings for y'all and looking forward to talking through y'all's great projects and priorities. I've been working with Liz on a number of new grant opportunities that have come online, including funding for bridges, funding for complete streets, pedestrian safety through a program called Safe Streets and Roads for All. Aurora Water was in town 2 weeks ago, and we had a bunch of meetings on the Hill with congressional committees to educate some of the committee staff about the water projects. We had an opportunity to advocate for Aurora Water's Water Smart grant request. And so the staff were really excited to hear from Kathy and all the great things y'all are doing. So that is a quick update. Any questions?
Gardner, do you have any questions? I don't either as well, Lori, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple days, actually. So
it is actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's spring here, so you won't have to worry about any cold. It's beautiful.
Okay, that's good to know.
Just bring your allergy medicine. That's all.
I know I'm dying already here, so I can't even. I'm there. Okay, but look forward to seeing you.
Have a good weekend.
Bye. Okay, our state legislative update. Peggy, Cammie, Totsi. I didn't see Totsi, but Cammie.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Peggy's had struggles trying to log on. I will let you know that House Bill 1152, the accessory dwelling unit bill, and House Bill 1313, the transit-oriented communities bill, both passed House appropriations this morning on a party line vote and have been scheduled for House second reading special orders, which will, right now the House is on a gun bill and we expect them to be on the floor into the afternoon and evening. And they are going to work also on Sunday. So I would expect that those bills, if they are heard today, will be on third reading Sunday or Monday.
Yeah, and we're working the Colorado Municipal League on a couple amendments around the TOC bill. The amendment tries to make it more of an incentive-based bill. It removes the injunction authority and the HUTF language. I did talk with the governor's office this morning about our concerns around the zoning piece and have talked with the Aurora delegation as well around that zoning piece. The gov's office told me that let's work on it in the Senate. So we'll keep working on that piece over there as well. The public defender's bill that we took a position on at our last meeting was scheduled for this week. Representative Weissman has had a family emergency. So he's been out the rest of the week. So it got rescheduled. We expect it to be heard probably next week. though that may get pushed back again. So that's kind of a quick update on what we've got going on here at the Capitol. About 3.5 weeks left.
Okay. Thank you so much, Peggy and Tammy. Councilmember Gardner, do you have any questions? Okay, nothing for me as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Liz, we're going to go to our legislative discussion and positions.
So we have two bills to discuss today. So the first bill is Senate Bill 24-174, Sustainable Affordable Housing Assistance. This is CML's bill that they have been working on with several stakeholders. Essentially what this would do is every 6 years, there would have to be a statewide housing needs assessment. So DOLA would kind of discuss and put together the framework for what that's going to look like. And local governments would have to do this assessment every 6 years. Thankfully, there have been some amendments on this bill already. So instead of each local government having to do their own assessment, you can participate in a regional assessment, which we do like better from a cost and staff resource perspective, as it would be less prescriptive for us. Staff is recommending an amend position. Mostly, we still have several concerns about the bill. We're really seeking some clarification and streamlining in terms of what these reporting requirements look like for every 6 years. There's also some local action plans that we would need to develop that we would like more clarity on what that means and how that would relate to the regional housing plans. There's also language about a grant assistance program for the needs assessment, but it's not really clear in the legislation if that would be available for the first year. And there are prioritization criteria for subsequent years, which we don't necessarily agree with, as this would be a mandated report. We don't believe they should be having any prioritization criteria. The grant should be open for everybody. And then lastly, another concern that we have is the program is supposed to be developed by the end of this year. And staff just doesn't think that's going to actually be a feasible timeline. So there are some good things in this bill. Staff feels like there would be a more broader housing assessment for the state. However, we still think the bill does need some work to make it into a good area.
Okay. And I just had a question. So when you were referring to the local government working with another entity, could that be like Dr. Cog
Yes.
or something like that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Councilmember Gardner, do you have any questions, and do you support the position of amend on this bill?
Yep, I'm supporting.
Okay, I'm supportive as well.
So the next bill we have brought forward as a monitor for you all, it's Senate Bill 24-195, Protect Vulnerable Road Users. We brought this forward as a monitor as there were some questions on this bill and the language. So we wanted to make sure that we discussed that with you all to give a better understanding of what's kind of going on. So this bill would amend state statute that would govern AVIS systems on public or on state operated highways specifically. So essentially saying that CDOT and the Colorado State Patrol has the authority to install AVIS systems on state highways, that they have authority to use AVIS systems in conjunction with local governments, and that it would require a local government, if they wanted to install an AVIS system on a state highway, to work with CDOT in that process. Where we're seeing some questions right now is in the bill, it says that any excess revenue that is collected by the state would need to go back into the state highway fund. We just wanted to clarify based on our interpretation and reading from staff and legal staff that this provision is only for the state. It does not apply to municipality owned AVIS systems that a municipality would own and install.
Councilmember Gardner, you have a question on this one?
No, if that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. I have no questions as well. Do you support the position of monitor on this bill? I do as well.
All I have.
Okay. Thank you so much. Kathy, what are you doing?
One other thing, the only thing I have today is the draft bill bills. So if you remember, there's two competing bills. Senate Bill 127 is Mayor Bill, and House Bill 1379 is the McCluskey bill. And the main difference between the two, the Mayor bill would have housed the new dredge and fill program in DNR. And it would it focused more on gap waters that has been discussed over time. And the fiscal note ended up at $3.5 million, and they would be adding 23.5 FTEs. Now the McCluskey bill, it would house the new program in CDPHE, and it was all state waters, not just Gap waters, all state waters with some exclusions. And their fiscal note was at 600,000 and less than 5 FTE. So those were the main differences between the two. On April 8th, 1370, I always forget the number, 1379 had its first hearing. And then yesterday, the Kirkmeyer Bill 127 had its first hearing. Both were amended, and they are slightly becoming more similar to each other, but just slightly. The main change to 127, though, was an amendment that completely stripped DNR and would house the new program in CDPHE, but keep a separate commission. So overall, Senate Bill 127 is still the favorable bill, and 1379, FSIR took an opposed position on that one. And both bills are on their way to their respective finance committees. Earl Wilkinson, our Assistant General Manager of Operations, he testified at both hearings. And so we'll just keep an eye on these bills and keep working on the amendments in a favorable way.
Councilmember Gardner, any questions? Okay, thank you. It makes sense as well.
That's it.
So just to kind of go up on the screen, Judge Day, is there anyone who would like to speak upon anything? Hi, Judge Day.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Councilmember Gardner, sorry that I'm not in the room with you today. I'm over at the courthouse. We're actually doing a news story. Aurora TV is doing a news story about our Teen Corps program. So there are a bunch of cameras over here, and I'm glad to be in my chambers and not in front of the cameras at the moment. So sorry that I'm not there. I was just going to give you an update on the 1437, the flat fee bill, the public defender bill. Just as was mentioned, it was moved from the 10th to the 16th. There was some proposed language by other cities as to the definition of flat fee, but we haven't heard anything about whether or not the proposed amendment language is under consideration or not. So that's the only update on that bill.
Thank you, Judge Day. I appreciate it. And get in front of that camera.
No, they don't have enough. They don't have enough makeup. So I think. Yeah, so.
Well, you know, you look good on the HD here, so you're good. Thank you, Judge Day. Is there anyone else that wants to speak or has an update that's on the screen before I go to Chief Morris? Okay, I don't hear anything. Chief Morris.
I don't really have anything. Liz covered the issue that we had in terms of the corridors, and so I think we got that covered.
Okay. All right. Well, this is one of the quickest advisor meetings we've ever had. So thank you everybody for being here. Our next meeting will be virtual. It'll be April 26th at 1 p.m. So everyone have a great weekend.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.